The Prime Minister in Iceland was talking about illegal migration. But actually, the news story of the day is legal migration, because it was reported today that the Home Secretary had had all but one of her proposals to curb record-breaking legal immigration rejected by the Cabinet. And this is fundamentally important because those of us with any length of political memory will know that David Cameron promised to get the numbers down to the tens of thousands from the 100,000s, whereas we're now hearing that the numbers could be up to 1 million. So instead of coming down, particularly after Brexit, when we had full control of our borders, it's been going up, and up almost threefold from where it was when we were still a member of the European Union. So this is really serious. It's not what the Conservatives have promised, and it's not what has been expected by Parliament or the voters. And it seems to come from the Treasury, which thinks, in cahoots with the OBR, that if we have a low-skill, low-wage economy with lots of people coming in, we will have some element of GDP growth, even if we don't have GDP per capita growth. That currently, under the system we've got, nearly 300,000 people will be able to come in with a minimum wage rate of £10.75 an hour, not much more than the national living wage. This is not creating the high-skilled economy that we need. It is low-skilled, low-wage mass migration, which it's very hard for people in this country to compete with, because we can't actually compete with low-skilled wages. Those economies have a completely different structure. We need to be focusing on the industries and the activities that have higher wage levels. So if in this country fruit picking is uneconomic, we must think of other things to do with our land and allow the fruit pickers to stay in their own countries to pick fruit that is grown there. We need to have the comparative advantage of what we do well, so we have a high-wage, high-prosperity economy. That's what the free market tells you. That is what free trade is all about. Not least because there's a public mandate for curbing immigration. It's what people have voted for. And why do they vote for it? Not because they're hard-nosed, not because they don't have sympathy for migrants who are admirable, looking for a better life, but because we don't have the houses, we don't have the infrastructure, we don't have the schools, we don't have the GP practices for the people who are here at the moment, let alone another million more. So people have voted to see the numbers reduced, and yet we are facing net immigration figures possibly near to 1 million. And it seems very unfortunate that the Cabinet, in its individual silos, saying this is good for my department, is ignoring the Home Secretary, who's looking at what is good for the whole of the British people. So the Home Secretary deserves the Prime Minister's support. But of course, I want to know what you think. Mailmog@gbnews.uk.